Hello, my loves. Welcome back to Chemistry with Kismet Tarot. I am Monica, the Kismet Chemist. If you are new to the channel, welcome. Welcome to the family. I am honored to have you. If you are returning, welcome back. I have missed you. Okay, so this is the messages for Mabon and Ostara and Libra season 4 Cancer risings. Now, what a rising sign is, before we get into the cards and the sections and everything, what a rising sign is it's the point in which the sun had broken the horizon on the day of your birth. It is based off of the time, the location, and the date of your birth. Hi, baby. So we've got Willow in here, of course, who wants to say hi. So if you guys give me just a moment. Oh, she's getting big. She's getting big. Say hi. Say hi. Say hi. Don't bite. That's not nice. So it's the point in which the sun peaks and hits the horizon on the day of your birth. And that is the point in your chart in which your soul, your essence came into being, which means it is the most natural essence of who you are in this world. And that's imbued in your energy from the day that you were born. Now, with Cancer rising, this is, you have likely heard that you're such a wonderful, nurturing, loving person. And simultaneously, I am sure that you have heard that you have a hard shell to crack, you're hard to read, that, you know, your emotions are so much and so all over the place, and that you really do know how to fight back. And all of those things are pieces that make up the essence of you. Give me just a moment. I'm going to let Willow out. All right, guys. I did want to put out a disclaimer that because of the way that these videos have been for the day, they've been quite extended. My kids are home. My husband is home. My dogs are home. It's kind of crazy in my house. So if you guys hear any outside noise, don't be alarmed. I am upstairs in my office filming, but I do have a family. And so sometimes life just gets in the way. But we were talking about Cancer rising and all the things that you hear about yourself from other people. Before I came to do this reading, I actually had to go and do a complete and utter spiritual cleanse and spiritual shower. Light word. They've been everywhere for these readings. They've been crazy. What I was saying is I had to go and do a spiritual cleanse, a spiritual shower, because I have a lot of Cancer placements myself, but I'm not a Cancer rising, which means that these messages are, the way that they're designed so specifically to touch on people who have Cancer rising, because it's all based off of the houses and the energies of those houses and the signs in which these energies and the moon are working through during Libra season, during this transition into Mabon and Ostara. And it's so important for me to come here as purified, as cleansed as I am able to, in order to bring you the clearest messages possible. That's something that is a deep Cancerian energy. You want clarity, because clarity is home. Clarity is peace. Clarity is calm. Clarity is the essence of comfort and safety for you. When things are clear, if you think about a crab in water, when a crab is in murky water, it doesn't know when there's a predator. It doesn't know if it's safe or dangerous, so it can retreat to its shell continually. And then it doesn't connect the way that it should be able to connect. But if the water is clear, then it can see for miles. And I'm not talking like literal crabs. We're metaphorical here because I don't know what a crab's eyesight is. But you can see for miles, so you can see whatever is around you. You can see the value and the beauty and the brilliance of the area that you're at and who you are and who you're with. And you see with that clarity. And that's a big thing for Cancerian energy, and particularly for those who are born with Cancer as their rising sign. When life gets really clouded, then it feels as though nothing can come of anything. You can't connect because everything is just tumultuous. And you have such potent and powerful emotions. And that is part of your blessing. It's part of your gift in this life is your emotions and how you move through them and how you work with them and how you bring those forth into all of your connections, into the world, into your work, into everything that you do and everything that you are. That's so important for you to understand. Your emotions are never too much. Your emotions are never over the top. They're never not enough, or they're never too, it's not like, the more your emotions swing back and forth like a pendulum, the more natural you are to yourself. And when you understand that your emotions work that way, but you don't allow them to completely control your life, and instead you allow them to have their time and their space, it opens up a new door within you. And that's what we're talking about today, because the underlying energy of Libra season for you is all about creativity. This is 100% about creativity. It's about opening the door to a new creative flow through cleansing and harnessing the truest essence of your emotions. And with this creativity theme here, we're also working with the sacral chakra, which is the water chakra. It is the emotional body. It is the emotional depth. And so this is really, truly meant for you. It truly is the time for you to really dive into the ways in which you can build a new you, build a new world, build a new whatever you want to, whether it is through painting, singing, dancing, creative expression, poetry slams. I giggle because I do this all the time, and then I make like dumb jokes with my husband, David, and I'm like, poetry slam. It's just kind of an inside joke, but there are little things like that that are true essences of creativity that help you come out of your shell. This season, Libra season, and moving through Mabon if you're in the Northern Hemisphere, or Ostara if you're in the Southern Hemisphere, this is really opening a lot more of this into your life. Now, when we talk about Mabon versus Ostara, Mabon is the time of it's the second harvest festival after Lammas or Lugnastad. And it is the time in which Persephone goes into the underworld to join Hades. Now, because we have the Northern and Southern Hemisphere, it's actually more like Persephone is leaving the Northern Hemisphere and going into the Southern Hemisphere. And so it's like flip-flopping the energies. So whereas in the Northern Hemisphere, now we're going to see Demeter or Ceres withdraw that loving, nurturing, agricultural, and fertile growth energy from the world. We also are seeing in the Southern Hemisphere, Persephone arising out of the underworld, and all of the spring and the new buds and the new blooms coming into being. So if we think about perception in this case, the Greeks weren't really aware of the magnitude of the earth that they were living on. And so when they created the myths, they only knew what they experienced. So they created the myths based off their experience. And now we can see that there's still that mirroring effect. And that mirroring effect is really important for creativity, because when you understand that the whole world is a mirror, it's a reflection. And, you know, as I'm filming this, we're still in Virgo season, which is literally the season of reflection of everything. When we understand that the world works this way, then we're able to really find the truest reflection of ourselves. And that can only be done through clarity. And that is so important for you, especially as a Cancerian. So my Cancer risings, we're talking creativity. And this is like a new creative cycle beginning, because we've got the number 10, which constitutes the end and the beginning of. You know, you think of the 10 of Pentacles or the 10 of Cups. It is the pinnacle moment. So this is you coming into this emotional maturity, emotional awareness, emotional depth in order to really harness your creativity. What these four piles correlate to different parts of your life. We've got the 4th house, the 7th house, the 10th house, and the 1st house. So with the 4th house, this is a spirituality focused pile. And this is September 25th and the new moon in Libra. This pile is your 7th house, so it is romance and love focused. It's the first quarter moon in Capricorn, and this happens on October 2nd. This 3rd pile is the full moon in Aries, which falls in your 10th house. So this is your career focused pile, and that's on October 9th. And then the 4th pile is the 3rd quarter moon in Cancer, which falls in your 1st house, and it is all about you, and it falls on October 17th. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clear the piles out, and then we're going to get started on the energies that are moving in for you for Cancer risings for the new moon in Libra. All right, we are back. So we are starting with the new moon in Libra, and this Libra new moon is falling in your 4th house, but it also has crossover energy in your 3rd house, and it's impacting your 7th house. So we have the sun and the moon in Libra, but we also have Mercury retrograded and Venus in Virgo. Those are all close enough together that they are all conjuncting each other, which is creating a 2-house, 4-planet stellium, essentially. And this is your 3rd house and your 4th house. So this is how you communicate with your past self, how you learned how to communicate as a child, how you learned how to love yourself as a child, how those roots were established, what kind of balance, what kind of harmony there was, or what kind of lack of these things there were. Those things are all coming into a harmonious trine with Pluto and Capricorn in your 7th house. So now you're starting to understand how the ways in which you talk to yourself, you care about yourself, and you love yourself have been based off of a sense of justice and balance and right and wrong and fair and unfair within your childhood, within your roots and the things that you have learned as a child or through ancestral and generational patterns. Because of this, it has impacted your personal relationships. It's impacted your marriage, your commitments, your partnerships, your business partnerships. And now my ears are ringing really highly. This actually happened in a couple of other piles. So there are a lot more divine confirmations coming through these days. But with this focus being so strongly on spirituality, this moon cycle, this new moon cycle, even though it's falling in your 4th house, it's not meant to be focused on your spirituality out in the world. This is about your spirituality internally. This is an internal rebalancing moon. It is helping you harmonize and come into a time of transformation of yourself in order to be applied to your spirituality, to your communicative style, and to the ways in which you move in your connections. These are very interlocked energies. Whoa. Sorry. Sometimes the light orbs really get me. So if you're paying close attention, you guys are going to see a lot of fun things because these readings have been crazy, crazy strong with spirit lately. And my ears are ringing super, super high pitched. But you guys definitely have some ancestors in here. Yeah, grandmother energy is very, very strong with this pile. Ooh, wow. Ooh, okay. So because this is about an internal rebalancing, we're going back to your roots. We're going back to how you were raised, what you believed in. And it's time to break yourself out of that. It's time to break yourself out of the patterns that aren't serving you anymore and the patterns that really hold you back from being your full creative self. You may have felt very stifled as a child. You may have felt a lot as though I can't be who I'm meant to be. This moon phase, especially this new moon, is helping you plant the seeds to really rebalance that and let yourself go. Let yourself be free. There are 3 primary focuses of this moon, this new moon. on September 25th. It's personal accountability, spiritual responsibility, and surrender. Those are the energies, the messages, the channeling that came through for the entire collective for these energies. In your case, Cancer, this is you saying, you know what? I recognize that this is how I grew up, but I also recognize that this is how far I've come from that. And I am going to be willing to release myself from this energy. So let's take a look at your oracle cards, and we're going to get a direct message for you guys from Spirit and your spirit guides about this energy. So we have aura, observation, and then we have nature, 25. And you guys are the first and only ones where you've gotten 2 of the big cards from this mega deck. They came out together and it needed to be there. Then we've got the card 29 with connections, partnership, contract, and commitments. New moon in Capricorn, step up and lead. We've got telepathy, transmission, perception, and communication. I'm going to put this down here. And then this is the El Kui, I believe is how you pronounce it. It's the She Who deck. And I am taking a leaf from Baba Jolie's guided messages on this one because she uses these cards and I absolutely love it. She's this wonderful reader. But when she does these readings with these cards, she uses it as the one who instead of she who, so that you understand it's not gender specific. It's actually universal energies. And that's really important here. So I want to make sure that I give a nod to her because I am incorporating an idea that she had created. And that's very important to me. All right. So we have the one who resists, Adaz, fearless, justified, and resistant. Okay, we're just going to slide that right there. You know what? It all fits. All right, and then we're going to take your oracle or your tarot cards. We've got the 9 of Swords. I'm going to put this over here. The 7 of Swords. And the card 15 with abundance. Okay. Your mind is playing tricks on you. And this moon phase is helping you understand that. Remember we were talking about going back down to your roots. So when you feel as though you can't embrace yourself, the truest essence of who you are, because you're afraid of your own power. You're afraid of what you can do. You're afraid of all of these things. It's very hard for you to step up and lead. So spirit and your spirit guides especially, but also throughout this moon phase, and you guys are ruled by the moon. So this is even more potent and powerful because we're tracking the moon phase. So this is your ruler and saying it is in your nature. This is in your nature, no matter what situation it is, you're needing in this moon phase to let go of the things that you have been holding on to from generations, from ancestors, but especially from like your mom and dad or your parents or your adoptive parents or foster parents or wherever it is that you grew up. Whatever established parental roles that you had, it's time for you to let that go because that is actually hindering you a lot. And it's not that they were bad people. You could have had the best parents in the world, but they are not you. And your soul is here to do something different. Your soul is here to lead by example, to show the actual nature of who you are, but who other people are, to observe and to perceive and to move in a way that is different types of communication, that is spiritual, that is psychic communication. With you guys especially, it feels as though there's a spiritual psychic awakening that wants to open up. It's like spirit is actually knocking on your door and saying, hey, I would like to have this partnership with you. I want to co-create with you. I want to collaborate with you. But you're stuck in this mentality of it's gonna be too hard. I can't do it. Everything is deceptive. There's no clarity with the 9 of Swords and the 7 of Swords. It's this constant cloudiness. And You want to be fearless, but you are resisting stepping out of your comfort zone to step up and lead, because what if you're wrong? I want you to take that question and change it. What if you're right? What if you're psychic? What if you are telepathic? What if you can see auras? What if you can hear the dead? What if you can speak to spirit? What if you can speak for spirit? What if you can work witchcraft? What if you can connect to people in a genuine, authentic way? What if you can see things, hear things, perceive things that other people can't? What if you can create abundance from this? What if this is your nature and you are meant to lead? What if you can? What if you're right? What if you're gifted? Your guides, your ancestors, there are so many in the spiritual realm that really want to challenge you to say a different what if question. And this new moon is the perfect time for you to set this, to plant the seeds of this. What if I am abundant? What if I am not deceiving myself? What if I can overcome my anxiety and depression? What if I can step up and lead? What if I can receive these messages and these insights and share them with the world? What if I can embrace the truest essence of who I am? What if I can commune with nature? What if I can see the unseen? What if I can have these connections, these partnerships that are true and genuine? What if I can create in the truest essence of creativity? What if I can create psychically? What if I can do these things? Ask yourself these things and then set the intention, plant the seeds of doing it, because that is going to change so much for you. Your perceptions and your understanding and your awareness, your observations are so needed in the world right now. Your creativity is so needed in the world right now. The world needs you to connect, Cancer. It needs you to connect right now, but you can't connect if you're stuck in your own mind about whether or not you can be abundant and whether it's right to be abundant. I went through that phase myself where I was like, can I charge what I'm charging for my books? Is that really right of me to do? Can I charge for personal readings? Can I charge for healing? There's a lot of that because there are so many structures that say that we can't do that, but this is a physical world that we live in, and we have to respect the physical as well as the spiritual, and that's very important. So you have to respect the fact that there are physical limitations and physical rules and regulations that we still have to follow. You have to eat, you have to keep a roof over your head, and so you need to make money. And so it is not wrong for you to be abundant. It is not wrong for you to be prosperous when it comes to your spiritual gifts. You may have grown up in a time or with a family that said, I'm actually being brought to like religious belief systems of you have to be of true service to others. You can't charge. Like you have to pay your way into heaven. You can't receive money from other people to help them on this kind of journey. You have to pay your way in. It's stuff like that. Please forgive me if I sound glib. I'm not trying to be against any religion. I just know that I have a lot of religious trauma and I'm still working through it. So I'm going to still use my emotional and throat chakra and speak my truth. However, if you are a religious person, I want you to know that my mother is very, very, very Christian, and we still have a wonderful relationship. Anyway, you're locking yourself down here. Cancer, you're locking yourself down. You're afraid that you're not leadership material, but the world needs to be led by the softer souls. The world is ready to be led by the psychic souls. It's your psychic emotional creativity that truly transforms the world, that transforms everything and everyone. And that's what we need in this world. Just point blank, that's what this world needs. So this new moon, it's time to take personal accountability for the mentality that you're maintaining and say, I'm not going to do this anymore. I'm not going to continue fooling myself saying that I can't change this, because I know I have the power to change this. And I know that spirit will lead me on that path. I know that spirit will be beside me. I know that spirit will help me, because my creativity and my gifts matter. I matter. I matter. I matter. You matter, Cancer. You matter to the world. And it's time to plant the seeds that you matter above and beyond anything that came before. All right. So we are going to shift now into the first quarter moon in Capricorn and your 7th house. So we're going to go into your relationships. I'm going to go ahead and pause it and transition the cards. All right, Cancer. So we are now shifting into October 2nd with the first quarter moon in Capricorn. This is hitting in your 7th house. This is the house of your commitments, your partnerships, your contracts, marriage, long-term relationships. This is the heart of your connections, your close personal connections. This is where you equally excel and struggle the most, because you want to connect, but you struggle with how to connect. Your watery energy really calls to this Capricorn energy a lot. And it's just a calling for you to understand that internally you're looking to find more balance by getting grounded. Now, this first quarter moon for the collective is all about initiating a new emotional response by finding the triggers. The moon is in a lot of tension in this energy. It has a square, it's squaring off with the sun, Venus, Mercury, Jupiter, and Neptune, but it's also coming into a trioctile with Uranus and an octile with Saturn. This is essentially saying that this personal accountability that we took control of and planted the seeds for in the new moon in Libra collectively, because that's what the collective is called to do. This accountability now is being brought to taking action, taking the initiative to respond in a different way by coming into a place of this inner awareness, to surrender the ways in which you reacted emotionally and mentally before, and really understanding your internal and emotional cause and effect. So it's kind of like when you feel triggered because you've asked for something and no one seems to be listening to you or respecting you, it can build and build and build, and then it blows up. Alternately, a better way to handle that is to be very firm in your boundaries and say, this is what I need. This is what I'm asking for. And this is how it works for me. And be very firm with that and stay very true to yourself. And that's how you lead by example. And that's something that you were called to do in your last moon cycle. This moon cycle, you're also experiencing Black Moon Lilith in your first house. Black Moon Lilith is both out of bounds, so not following any astrological rules, but she is also at the anaretic degree, or the 29th degree of Cancer. She is imbuing you with this. Wow, what are you? When I see these little like pieces, I would say they're dust, except when I look up, I don't see them anywhere in the air. They're nowhere. They're just spirit orbs today, and they are strong today. And now my ears are ringing even higher again, and this keeps happening continually. So it is very firm confirmation for you. But with Black Moon Lilith, this is like the shadow essence of your soul, but it's like the dark feminine warrior. The essence of magic is being awoken within your actual being. And it's a magical release from the ancestral and the generational patterns of subjugation that we have been talking about. That has been the ways in which the roots that you have made you believe certain things, that you can't do these things. You can't be telepathic, or you can't practice witchcraft, or you can't do this, or you can't do that because it's not right. You can't buy your way into heaven and help someone else get to heaven unless you're paying their way, and then they still have to pray their way. It's that kind of mentality. And again, I'm not trying to use religion. I'm just using the generalized example that I have to give. It's that kind of mentality that I feel really strongly in your energy needs to be broken free from. This moon phase, this first quarter moon in Capricorn, is giving you the energy. It's giving you that divine inspiration, divine energy to break free of that, because it's time for you to be your most authentic self in connections. It's time for you to come out of your shell. It's time for you to show the world not just your softness, but your strength, your loyalty, your tenacity, the truth of the power of the emotions that you have. And now my crown is like super tingly. So while you have Black Moon Lilith out of bounds and at the 29th degree in Cancer, this is really overhauling who you are in terms of you in connections, you in relation to your family. But you also have Mercury, who is turning retro or turning direct from the retrograde cycle today, in harmony with Uranus in Taurus and Pluto in Capricorn. So this is your 7th, 11th, and 3rd houses. So it's how you communicate within your connections, within your, with your inner child, with your awareness, your knowledge, your knowing, your educational everything, journalism, typing, writing, things like this, and how you bring that forth into the world and into communities and collaborations, and how you transform it into wealth. There's so many interconnected pieces to this right now, but Mercury is really bringing forth this energy into your awareness of how to transform, how to be innovative, how to have this creative communication from the divine and get it into this rooted physical manner. And the movie Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, the original, FYI, because I am that old, the original was playing in my head as I was preparing for these readings. And it's this moon phase makes so much sense, because this is the moon phase that is the golden ticket. When we utilize Mercury in harmony with Uranus and Pluto, we're learning how to communicate with the world in a different way, how we're communicating with ourselves, but with others in such a huge, profound way. So we're really, really working our way through speaking our truths the way that we need to. So let's take a look at your cards. And I apologize if you guys can hear Willow. She just got let in, but there's so much chaos outside. She just wants to play. So we have the card 18 with infinity. We have the card 19 with letting go of urgency, surrender, freedom from time constraints. We have the new moon in Taurus with know your worth. Ooh, Uranus in Taurus, huh? We have the card 21, guide, and the illuminated path. And this is a collective energy. I want to say that because I think I've seen this in just about every single one of the readings so far. So this is a huge collective energy. It just is going to come in different places for other people. And then we have the one who radiates, Geneva, knowing, ambition, and confidence. And she actually reminds me, this card actually reminds me a lot of Queen Amidala from Star Wars. Sorry about that. I have my hair down for your guys' reading. So we've got 18, 19, and then 21. So some of you may actually be between the ages of 18 and 21. Some of you may have had a huge change in your life between those ages. But we actually have 17 here too. So 17, 18, 19. Then we skip 20 and go straight to 21. So if you think about the tarot deck, we're going from the star to the moon to the sun to the world. This is you understanding that your hopes and dreams are tied to who you are. They're tied to your soul. They're tied to how you bring yourself into the world. So if you know your worth, then you know your worth within your connections. Then you actually form true, genuine connections, no matter where you are or what you're doing. And you don't have to keep trying to push these connections to happen. They will happen in the time they're meant to happen. You have to learn how to surrender these things, because when you are in this connection and you're pushing, it actually slows all the energy down. There is a creative harmony that you can have here if you understand that you do know the way forward for both you and your connections. It all comes down to you knowing whether you are worthy of love. And this new moon in Taurus is saying, know your worth, know your creative worth too. For real, Cancer, like, know how creative you are, because you are literally like a walking creative expression in such a beautiful way. You have such beautiful qualities, gifts and talents. Like, you're my fiction writers, my poetry writers, my lyricists, my musicians. You have all these psychic gifts, but you also are so creatively inclined. And if you can learn how to blend those together, it brings you into a better harmony within yourself. And when you come into that harmony with yourself, you start learning how to talk about these creative, transformative things in such a creative way, in such a beautiful way, in an innovative way, in a way that the world is ready for and not ready for simultaneously. So you just do it. Just do it so that you are really like jumping into it. But trust that the way forward for you and your connections is being made for you, and that the connections that you're coming into are ones that are there for the long haul. So we have the card 7 with daydreams and decisions, the card 5 for challenging times, and another card 5 for feeling alone. Challenging times and feeling alone, these are those change energies. Okay, you have 2 5s here. These are those change energies. The 7, I would normally say, constitutes like the spiritual seeker energy, but in this case, we are in your 7th house. Your daydreams and decisions are what are going to determine whether or not you continue moving forward, feeling as though everything is challenging, feeling as though you're doing everything alone. Even if you feel alone, it's about learning how to love yourself in the fullness of who you are. We have a full moon and a new moon here. So the time frame between the new moon in Libra and the full moon in Aries, so September 25th to October 9th, that's when this moon hits. That's when you can choose to see that the only constant in your life is change. And if you want change to happen, then you can initiate that change. So if you want the challenging times and the feeling of aloneness to stop, then it's time for you to have the confidence and the knowing that you know the path out of that your daydreams are showing you the vision to get out of that. And so surrender to the fact that everything comes in divine timing. Know your worth, know how worthy you are of love, and go about your life. Because when you do that, that's when things are going to change for you, and especially in your connections. It's kind of like, it's like this essence of when you realize this internal worth that you have, you realize that the creative expression of who you are is meant to be in the world, and that the people that are in your life that love you are not in your life because you give to them constantly because of this, that, or the other thing. It's because you radiate being a walking daydream. You radiate this, we can do anything, we can get out of anything. You radiate the energy of the guide to illuminate the path for others. And that can feel alone. But if you look, she has her wolf beside her. She's literally lighting the path herself. She is lighting the path herself. You have the ability to light the path for yourself. And it doesn't mean that you're alone. It means that you know your own strength, and you know your own power, and you know your own worth. And you know that love matters, but true essence, true worth matters first and foremost. And that's something that you are learning to embrace during this first quarter moon in Capricorn. Break yourself free of the ways that you learned that everything has to be a challenge, that you have to be a mom or be this or be that, be a father and be the breadwinner, and whatever constraints, whatever stereotypical subjugation roles that you have felt placed in because of these things, let that go. Know your worth. You are so deserving of everything. The love that you have, the ambition that you have, all you have to do is harness that into this confident energy and blast that forth from your heart. That is how you illuminate the path. That takes you out of this feeling alone and allows your daydreams and the decisions that you make to end this cycle. Like I said, we're going from 17 to 18 to 19 to 21. It's like you already heard the judgment call. You already know what you need to do. You already know this is all about ending a cycle, coming to the culmination point, coming to the end point to start something new. In order for that to end, you have to make the decision to end it. Use your clairvoyance, use your visualization, and end the struggle, end the challenges. Choose to do that. If you want to be in a committed relationship, you know your worth. End that feeling of being alone by opening yourself up, being intimate, being true, being open. Open your heart. It doesn't have to be you protecting yourself all the time. You can open yourself up. You're not alone, and you can make a decision to change this. There is true magic within you. All you have to do is open yourself up to it. All right, let's move on to the full moon in Aries. Okay, Cancerians. Oh, my loving Cancers. I love you guys so much. I love your energy, but I do feel this impatience of like, I'm so sick of hearing the same thing. Like I have the power to change this. I get that. I want to acknowledge this energy right now because it's a frustrating energy for me to feel. It's a frustrating energy for me to sit in. And so I want to let you know that I understand that completely. I know that it's hard for you to hear, oh, you can do this. Oh, you just have to do that, because it's always bigger than that. It's always bigger than that. It always feels bigger than that. It always is going to feel bigger than that. But you can't allow your emotions to have complete dictatorial control over whether or not you harness your power. Now we're moving into the full moon in Aries in your 10th house. This is going to be your career, your status, your reputation, your face in the world. This is the perfect time for you to let go. This is the perfect time for this energy of I'm so sick of hearing this to be let go, and you to be like, I hear you. I'm going to do this now. I hear you. I'm going to take advantage. I hear you. I am going to step into my worth and I'm going to do this. This full moon in Aries, the energy of it is right actions are going to lead to the right results. So it's the I hear you. I hear myself. I know my worth. I am going to make this decision and I'm going to transform my life. This is creative innovation through self-expression, and it's going to bring harmony. There is deep healing going on within your career sector because Chiron is still moving through your career sector. The moon conjunct Chiron gives you soul deep healing of you, your spirit, your emotional world, but also how you bring that into your success in the outside world, your reputation in the outside world. Now, for the entire collective, this moon phase is the perfect moon phase to do things like a shamanic fire meditation or fire healing, fire cleansing, violet flame purification with Archangel Zadkiel, who is the archangel of forgiveness, self-forgiveness, compassion, mercy, grace. He is amazing. He's my Reiki. He's my Reiki guide. And he announced himself to me in one of my early Reiki channeling sessions when I was training for Usui Reiki. But this energy here, the violet flame meditation, and especially your violet flame purification, is a visualization, and it really does. It's that deep spiritual, powerful cleansing energy. And it washes up and rushes up and through and over you. And Archangel Zadkiel is always, always ready to be called upon for help with this. This moon phase is your Phoenix rising energy. You want this transformation. This is your transformation. This is harmonic balance being brought back to your heart center, to being able to speak from the heart, to move from the heart. This is healing the soul through opening to the beauty of unconditional love. And Cancers, you know unconditional love. You are the essence of unconditional love. In your best state, you are that essence, and you beat yourself up when you aren't in your best state because you're not, you believe you're not exuding that. But I want you to really question what you think unconditional love is. That's a really important thing, because as you come forth into the world, if you don't believe that you are exuding unconditional love, you aren't able to fully receive that back. And I know that's one of the most frustrating things to hear too, but it's the truth. If you don't understand the nature of unconditional love, which is just, it's love. It's love that doesn't say that you have to be this person or this way. It's love that says, these are my boundaries, and that love respects those boundaries. It's saying, this is what I need in my life for this, and this, and understanding that even if this person can't give it to you and you're not meant to be with that person, or you're not meant to have that kind of connection, whether it's within a career or out in the work field or even in your interpersonal relationships, it doesn't mean that you don't love them. It means that you value yourself and you know your worth. And so you aren't connecting to them in that way. But it doesn't mean that you don't love them. And that's something that's so prevalent and prominent with Cancerians, and especially Cancer risings, is that you do love that deeply. You just naturally love that deeply. And it hurts. It hurts constantly because people take advantage of that. But you don't have to allow that to be your story anymore. You can choose to get creative with your own personal story. Really allow yourself to step into the flames and to become the phoenix in this moon phase. So let's take a look at your oracle cards. We have the card 33 with time. There's something here with you guys in time. Time constraints was, if you focus on the clock, it's like a watch pot will never boil. A broken clock is right twice a day. But other than that, why are you staring at it? Time doesn't really exist. It's one of the hardest things to accept at any given point in time. Time doesn't exist. Time is a construct that we have created in order to be able to explain the passing of the sun over the sky. That's it. Who is saying that you don't have enough time? You have plenty of time. Create and watch as time just changes. When I am sitting here doing these channelings, I don't realize that I've poured in 2, 3, 4, 5 hours of recording until I'm done. And then I'm like, whoa, where did my day go? Because I am in the flow state and I love what I'm doing. Time doesn't matter. It's just an illusion. So break yourself free from this. And on that note, it's high time for you to break yourself free. We have 35 angels of the 7 chakras, power, truth, and connection. It is time for you to have a spiritual awakening. It's time for alignment. It's time for you to open up. It's time for you to heal. It's time for you to have your gifts awakened. It's time for you to accept yourself. It's your time. It's time. It's time. It's time. It's your time. It's your time. That's what I'm hearing. It's your time. It's your time. We've got the first quarter moon in Leo with Be Humble. This is a lesson that I have learned, especially recently with my YouTube channel's growth, with the messages that I've been getting about my accuracy, my predictions, the ways in which I'm picking things up and the synchronicities. And I have found myself in a state of just constantly crying. I'm like, I can't lie to you guys. I have found myself in this state of like gratitude-based crying. There's nothing about what I do here that is feeding my ego. I am so honored, so humbled to do this. And if I can lead by example and show you that this is what they're trying to help you learn is to know your worth, to understand the truth of you being connected to the higher realms, of you truly being psychic, of you knowing that you can align yourself, knowing that you're going through a spiritual connection, knowing that there is a time and a place for everything, and trusting in divine timing, and knowing that you can do whatever you want because you are creative. You are who you're meant to be. And it's okay to be emotional. It's okay to really release this. And this is so much sacral chakra clearing. We've got the sacral chakra here, and I'm seriously being brought to my sacral chakra here. Plus, you've got it here. This is everything is connected to your emotional body, Cancer. Humble thyself in the sight of the Lord is an actual Bible verse. And it just came through, but it's like, humble thyself in the sight of your emotions. Understand the truth and the power that you have within your emotions. Understand that there's a time and a place for everything. And understand that you have a time now in your life where you can rise like the phoenix and you can create the life that you desire and the connections that you desire because you're worthy of it. We have 27, healing the heart, the power of self-love. Oh, I want to hug you guys so much. And I want you guys to know my oldest daughter and I have struggled for years to see eye to eye, to find any kind of common ground. She's a Cancer rising. So I know the struggle you guys have been going through. I feel it. As a mom trying to teach my daughter these lessons, I feel it. Then we have the one who is present, Tara's. Now, awareness, acceptance, now. See, the time is now. That know your worth, accept yourself, love yourself. Find that power in it. Know how worthy you are. This is something that I have been telling my daughter for years. Know yourself, love yourself first and foremost, because that brings you to this state of everything flows exactly as it's meant to. And that's how I know how beautifully creative Cancer risings are. I'm not a Cancer rising. But I see my daughter and I am in awe of her all the time. I am always in awe of Cancer risings because you guys have a different energy about you. You have this beautiful watery flow to you, this creativity, but you also have this fiery nature that people just don't fully give you credit for. We've got the 5 of Pentagrams, the 5 of Swords. Again, with these 5s, you guys, it's time for change. The 8 of Pentagrams and the Magician. Yeah, I love to see that because we now are looking at, you're changing your mentality. You're changing this lack mentality because you are coming into healing your heart, understanding that the more you love yourself, the more time you give yourself, the more time you give yourself to connect to spirit, to connect to yourself, the more abundant you become, the more you become aware and present of yourself and accept yourself. And you clear and cleanse all of this past everything. And then you perfect who you are. You become the magician. You become the one that gets to turn all your resources into an entire universe of your own creation. Whatever it is that you want to do in your life, you are perfecting that. It's a creative endeavor that you're perfecting. And what you need to know is that this creative endeavor is exactly what it's meant to be because you are worthy of it. Because you love what you do and it is your time to do this. And that's so huge because Cancers, I have seen the creations that come from Cancer energy. It's amazing. Please take this as your huge, like massive pep talk. that you are meant to do this. These are your path, your calling, your purpose, your movement forward. This is right because you are right for being you. This full moon in Aries, really allow yourself to love yourself completely, to see the truth of what you're here to create, and to know that when you accept yourself, you accept that you are in the time of your own creative everything. So let's get to the final message from the third quarter moon in Cancer and the first house. That's you guys. Okay, Cancerians. So now we are, excuse me, now we're shifting into the third quarter moon. This is falling in your first house. So this is when you get to come back home to yourself, come back to rest within yourself. And this is happening on October 17th. This third quarter moon in Cancer is harmonizing with Jupiter and Neptune, and that gives you this inner expansion. And this is going to be the best way through your self-expression, your psychic gifts. This has been the calling for this entire season, for Libra season, for you moving into Mabon or Ostara, depending on where you're at. This has been what Spirit is calling to you to do directly. You in a special, you especially, you in like this, in essence, this is the moon phase that is calling to you the most, and it is your moon. It's about you accepting who you are, truly accepting who you are, so that you can break yourself free of this imbalanced focus on love that isn't from your heart, and love being received that isn't true from other people's hearts. And that happens. It happens in life. But you can move beyond that. This moon phase is going to teach you about the emotional undercurrents, which really create illusions that you can't be in union with others, or you can't be in union with yourself without sacrificing something of you. That you can't find harmony and balance in love and it's all based upon lies. It's based upon lies of structures that we felt we needed to build out of fear. It holds the divine feminine back from unifying with the divine masculine, both within, but also with our interpersonal connections. The key here is to open yourself up to communication from Spirit. Open yourself up fully to your intuition and your psychic insights. You will see, you will feel, and especially you're going to feel in your heart and your higher heart chakra. You'll also feel it in your sacral chakra. And it's going to feel like there's this balancing. I'm almost feeling like an energy of like a push and pull internally, where it's like you're actually going to feel it rebalancing. Here's the other thing about this specific moon, which is really cool to me. I love it. This is the message that came through. It said, healing can be found through fueling creative, inspirational solutions of communicative action through Mars and Gemini. This is right words, right inspiration, pure motivation, and spiritual elevation of awareness. And all of this is for the healing of the divine masculine in such a huge way through breaking the inner divine feminine free. When you break this divine feminine, intuitive and psychic energy free, completely free from the way that it was before when you grew up, and the fears and worries and concerns, and now I have a ton of pressure in my third eye chakra. When you break yourself free of these things from your past, you're breaking your divine feminine energy free. And that means that you will know the balance between receiving and taking action inherently. You're unifying your divine masculine and divine feminine, and the world needs that. The world needs somebody who says, you know what? I know that this is what it's supposed to be like. I know how to take action, but I know how to receive. I know how to do this and how to do that. I know how to be in both of these energies harmoniously, and I know how to connect to others while being in this harmonious balance internally and externally. If anybody can do it, Cancer, it's you, because you are the heart of the zodiac. I know people say Leos are the heart of the zodiac, and I'm a Leo rising, and I appreciate that greatly. But Cancer, your love it's second to none. And it's time for you to give yourself this. So let's get your oracle cards. We have 13, Epiphany. You guys are not going to believe these cards because I don't believe these cards. The card 18, Prophets and Ancient Seers, Decisions, Predictive Guidance. New Moon in Gemini, think it through. 45, Brilliant Beliefs, Luminous Life Force, and Personal Power. Some of you may be drawn to cheetahs, to leopards. Snow leopards in particular is what I'm picking up with you guys. Snow leopards in particular. And then The One Who Loved Once, Blue, Fragile, Secret Love, and Rejection. And now let's get your cards. We have the Wheel of Fortune, which is another 10. The Ace of Pumpkins, or the Ace of Pentacles, and the 7 of Potions, or the 7 of Cups. Think it through for what decisions you make and predictive guidance that you give so that you choose the right potion here. But understand that your destiny, your fate is already locked, sealed, and protected. You are protected. You won't have to do this anymore. Once you step into who you are, your personal power, when you have that epiphany moment, when you decide this is who I am and this is who I'm going to be, when you give yourself the time, like genuinely give yourself the time to think it through. And you know what? This new moon in Gemini, this is that Mars in Gemini energy, actually. This is Mars. It's right words, right inspiration, pure motivation, spiritual elevation of awareness. This is you actually fully accepting that you are a prophet and ancient seer. Sorry, I have my wand. I have been messing with it off to the side, but it just feels like I need to use this. This is you learning how to take all of the insights that you're getting, even the ones that you're getting through this reading, but throughout your entire life, really harnessing that. And I'm seeing the Wheel of Fortune, and every time I see this card in particular, this specific one, because this is the Hocus Pocus tarot deck, she's surrounded by salt. So no matter what mistakes Danny made during the movie and Max made, because, Max is, a dumb boy. No offense, guys. My husband and I joke about that all the time. We're like, boys are stupid, throw rocks at them. But it's usually to make my kids feel better. But my husband will always say that he's a boy and he's dumb. He just does. But no matter how many mistakes they made, no matter how terrifying it got, no matter how dangerous it got, they still found a way to get protection, whether it was going on hollow ground, surrounding themselves in salt. They still found that way to protect them. Your destiny, your fate is protected. You are protected on this journey. You have the protection that you need on this journey. So now is the time for you to realize that your creativity is not going to be rejected. It is your personal power. Your psychic creativity is what guides you to making the right decisions and the right words, the right inspirations, the right decisions, the motivation that is pure and from the heart. All of that heals. You heal yourself, you heal the world, and you do it through doing something that you love, this creative passion. This third quarter moon phase in your sign is going to help radically transform yourself, because you're not going to keep rejecting yourself. You're going to learn how to accept yourself. And I'm predicting that right now because I can see it. All right. I'm going to clear this off. I'm not going to pause and transition. We're just going to clear it off real quick. And we're going to use this mega deck, which, FYI, huge shout out to ASO Tarot for her mega deck that she created in the middle of the night one night, because you're awesome and your inspiration gave me inspiration. So let's see what additional messages we have for you guys. Okay. got those, and this one wanted to come out. Okay. I'm sorry, Spirit's being a little bit of a snarky. Sometimes Spirit gets snarky, and I love it because we've got the card 24 in listening, and this is literally about listening to your psychic insights, listening to Spirit, and I think that has been really drilled into you throughout this entire reading more than anything else. Listen to yourself, trust your gifts, trust your insight. It's time for you to hear this stuff. Listen to the creative flow. Listen to the ways that your emotions speak. Listen to yourself. Listen to your heart. Listen to your truth. All right, we have the card 19 in forgiveness. I want to hug you guys so bad right now. The card 23 in truth, 26 in dreams, and the card 30 with I am presence. Okay, this is what you need to listen to. Forgive yourself for the past mistakes. I'm going to give it to you guys in like Virgo style because we're still in Virgo season and my progressed ascendant is in Virgo, so I can tap this energy really well. I'm going to give you practical steps. Forgive yourself and forgive others. If you are struggling with this, please genuinely understand if you're struggling with any kind of self-forgiveness or forgiving others, email me. My email is in the description box. It is also on my about section. Email me. I have a program called Freedom Through Forgiveness. I have it in a PDF form. I will kick it to you. I will email it to you for free. This is a program that I developed for somebody else, and I see the benefit of it, but I don't want to charge for it because forgiveness should be free. It really should. So if you are struggling with forgiveness of any sort, email me. And I'm being very serious and very genuine here. This is not self-sacrificial. This is me telling you, listen to me here. This is a truth that I want to help you understand. There are people that are willing to help you, that are willing to hear you, but you have to hear yourself. So if you are struggling with this, please let me know. I have a program that can help you. Okay? You have these dreams, you have these visions, you have all of these things. They're bringing you the truth of your own I am presence. You can't see it yet until you release. Forgive yourself and forgive others because it's just creating more pain inside of you to not. And when you clear that out, you're going to understand that some of you may have psychic dreams that are really scary. This is something that my daughter is going through, but it's also something that I have gone through myself. Sometimes psychic dreams, when you watch them become true, it's scary. But if you listen to yourself and you understand that sometimes you're just meant to observe them, you can't do anything to change it. The truth is that you're here to see, to feel, to experience spirit, and then to share that with other people in a variety of ways. Your dreams can help you transform your creativity, but you have to learn to listen to yourself and trust yourself. So, Cancer, that is the final message that I have for you. I really want to hug you guys so much. I just want to hug you guys. If this resonated, please hit that like button, share it with anybody that you know that is Cancer rising that could use these messages. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and hit that notification bell if you feel so inclined so that you don't miss any of my upcoming videos. And down in the description box, there are links to donate to my channel for my author books or author page on Amazon so you can check out my books. But there's also my email address if you would like to try that Freedom Through Forgiveness program. So, Cancer Risings, thank you again so much for being here. I love you all. Please let me know down in the description box how you guys are doing. Tell me about what you're opening yourself up to because I really would love to know. All right, Cancers, I love you all. Bye.